platform, the unofficial HubSpot morning show where we help you discover the platform you already own. I'm Chris Carolan, and every weekday at 6 a.m. Central, we're here to make sure you're not sleeping on HubSpot's true capabilities. If you're joining live, drop a quick hello in the comments and let me know what you're building in HubSpot today. If you're watching the replay, timestamps are in the comments below. Maybe there's some resources there as well. And you can see some other comments from other people that are bringing value to the community. Until then, let's wake up to what's happening in the HubSpot ecosystem. Uh, Today, I'm gonna start making an effort to start chipping away at the updates. I'm gonna share my screen here, and um, yesterday I talked about like 17 pages of betas that I opted into last week to catch up the HubSpot demo account here. Um, and like when I think about things like this, it's like, how do I, if I'm gonna keep up, like how do I make sure I'm not missing anything? So like what I would do is like go through all 17 pages. Nobody wants to watch that probably. So I'll see what I can do to start chipping away. Not my MO as far as taking things in small chunks. Um, but maybe this new to you and scheduled for release can guide me. Uh, and then after this quick hit, we're gonna check out the other places that I go to figure out what's new, learn about how people are using HubSpot, challenges they're running into, things they're building, things like that. Um, so, new to you, view what's changed since you last visited product updates, which was yesterday. And since I didn't go to the second page, clearly all this was there yesterday. I just haven't looked at it. And thankfully, and maybe the reason that I even decided to work on this today is custom object pipelines automation. Custom object pipelines, maybe one of my favorite topics that I believe is also underrated. So let's click on that. Um, what is it? Users can now automate actions based on custom object pipeline stages, such as creating tasks or sending internal notifications when a custom object advances to a specific stage. Why does it matter? With this update, users can now access pipeline automation features for custom object pipelines, similar to those available for deal and ticket pipelines. How does it work? To access this feature in your HubSpot account, click the settings icon in the top navigation bar. In the left sidebar menu, navigate to Objects, Custom Objects. Select your custom object using the Select an Object drop-down menu. Click the Pipelines tab. In the Select a Pipeline section, click the drop-down menu, then select the pipeline to automate. Click the Automate tab. Who gets it? Enterprise Customer Platform, uh, which basically means anybody with any Enterprise Hub license. You don't have to have the whole platform. Um, that is often a reason people do upgrade to enterprise. Uh, have I been just giving bad advice? The way this reads, it feels like it wasn't even available in workflows. Is that correct? That can't be correct, right? So my assumption, like if assuming I haven't been giving terrible advice when I say custom objects are underutilized, and if you ever used pipelines, the stage and gate stuff, just like deals and tickets, unlocks all of HubSpot's automation in a lot of ways. Have I been steering people wrong? I don't know, but we're going to check because I have a sinking suspicion that maybe the way that you access it is what is new here. Uh, be interested, like, if anybody knows for real out there what this looked like before. Um, as far as could you trigger things, could you do those things that it was describing in the workflows tool? Uh, because so if we go to pipelines here, like this is the part that's new, I'm pretty sure, in terms of being able to automate from this screen, like without going to the workflows tool. Because you've been able to access those objects. Um, and yeah, I know. What am I talking about? Like I've definitely created some workflows based on this. So this is the new part. Like we can now make it easier to access some automation based on stages. And let's go to our favorite custom object right now, deliverables. And let's say we've got some assets, and uh, we just received the order. Now we've got these stages of we need to confirm the configuration, need to put it into production, get it ready for shipping, uh, and um, in transit. This is why, like, the staging, this is how it unlocks like communication, right? Like the reason to go into stages, for me, it's generally notifying somebody of something, that something was done, or giving you a status when you look at the report, right? So this is kind of awkward. Maybe we could shorten this up a little bit, HubSpot, so that I don't have to scroll down. Um, so uh, let's say when a deliverable reaches configuration confirmed, we're clicking on create workflow, uh, and I'm not sure if this is new. I remember last I was in this a while, like not having access to all of the things um, that you have in the workflows, and making sure you go to the workflows. So this looks like this is a better experience um, than I remember. And that's why if we can bring it over to the objects, so this is making more sense and why it's worthy of, you know, a product update, right? Like part of the reason that, people don't know things about HubSpot is just like they're not in those places. They don't go to those places. And unless they have a specific reason to do the thing, um, they're never gonna like see the new value, right? They're gonna keep sleeping on the value that's right in the platform. So now that it's here, and we don't have to uh, go to workflows and then just catch it in a drop down or something to be exposed to it. It's right on the custom object screen when we're doing other stuff. Uh, we can do a workflow easily. So here, like, say a configuration gets confirmed, we're going to send a communication. Um, Send an email to the deliverable. Uh, this email will be sent to all contacts associated with the enrolled deliverables. Um, that's cool. Yeah, see, I'm waking up too, folks. I'll be the first to admit, workflows and reporting specifically are uh, uh, my definitely weak spots for me in HubSpot in terms of uh, knowing and having used them as much as most others in the system, because usually if I see dirty data in the system, then I don't really want to talk about workflows and reports that are gonna, let you do bad things with the dirty data. Uh, so that's why I focus so much on data models and process management and what the pages need to look like and what data people need to see, how people can get their jobs done. Um, so this is really, really cool to see. Uh, but let's say, so here's an example, configuration confirmed. And again, we come back to uh, the associations and making sure your records are associated properly, right? If we have everybody who needs to know this, right, and we have a project manager, and again, ooh, I'm loving this, right? Okay, because we've got a deliverable, we've separated this activity out, right? We're not trying to stuff this into a ticket or a deal, specifically a deal. Because on the deal, we've got a bunch of other people who, well, not a bunch. We either have a bunch of other people or not enough because we've restricted ourselves to only the buyer, only the person that can make the decision is on the deal, or we have everybody who's influenced the deal, including finance and purchasing and anybody who was involved that we might only need to speak to the project manager and the people involved in getting the thing and uh, so like it's the warehouse team, it's um, the engineers who are going to install, maybe it's partners that don't need to see the deal. Man, I'm thinking about this out loud. uh, Anybody who needs to be informed of what's happening after closed one. Okay, if you separate this out and it's not just another deal pipeline and it's not just another ticket and you get very specific, this is why I tell people do like automating associations before having done it manually makes zero sense. Associations and association labels are going to be, they are one of the foundational elements of what makes the rest of HubSpot work. And this is a perfect example. If we have an SOP that says, okay, every time, like, so we've got a line item, closed one, we make an order and a deliverable based on the deal. When things are happening with this deliverable and there's a specific configuration, we did all the work up front to do configure price quote. Now we want to make damn sure the expectations are understood by all parties, and as we send it down the line, we meet those expectations, right? So at this point, we've received an order and we're doing some work. Somebody's doing some work. The account manager, customer success manager, maybe onboarding manager, uh, installation engineer, maybe it's a trainer. They are confirming this is what you bought, correct? Right? After we do that via various mechanisms, maybe it's an online form, maybe it's a call, right? After we do that, it goes into the system with configuration data in it. And maybe this is connected to, maybe this is integrated with an ERP or a product lifecycle management platform, right? Since we have that data in HubSpot, like we don't necessarily have to create it in HubSpot. Since it's there, we can trigger this stage. When it gets to this stage, we can say, send an email to everybody associated to the deliverable because we know each time a deliverable is created, there is a project manager, a trainer, an installation, partner, uh, and the person responsible for making all of that stuff goes well. We always have those 4 contacts, so I don't have to worry about triggering this workflow because I know whoever is going to get this email. It's going to be relevant, right? So when we talk about making HubSpot work for us, when we talk about mapping and understanding current state and processes, this is why. Like, this is so powerful, right? Instead of creating a massive workflow and we have 10 contacts on a deal and we only want to send to these 4, so let's make sure they all have the right label. And we're going to do that anyways, but then building those things everywhere else, right? That's the part that's hard to maintain. Um, and you can just create these easy points of managing and setup, right? So this is very cool. And I think like I might not have realized that without the context of starting to do this within the custom object itself. So that's where like proximity and um, like uh, accessibility, creating awareness around these things and where you see it, right, is often important for how it's received the first time, the second time, the third time. So very cool. I'm very excited for this. Uh, good job. We got through one. Uh, and since the screen is going to go away, I'm just going to peruse the others. Automated scheduling for backups, customer platform. That's good. Uh, this record, this is the first time I've seen a note like this. This record includes updates regarding current development efforts for our existing or new products or services. These updates are not intended to be a promise or guarantee of future availability of product, services, or features, but merely reflect our current plans based on factors currently known to us. They also are not intended to indicate when or how particular features will be offered or at what service tiers or price. These planned or and future development efforts may change without notice. Again, I think we talked about it yesterday. Like the ultimate hedge, right? We promise nothing, we guarantee nothing. It would be cool if it happened, and you will thank us if it does. But if it doesn't, and you get upset, not our, like, we gave you a heads up, right? Um, what is it? So, like, wouldn't this, I guess maybe this is on the in development stuff. I'm not sure. This is just the first time seeing it. So, uh, interested to understand, like, when uh, they choose to add that note. Um, what is it? You'll be able to schedule a CRM data backup to automatically initiate every week or every other week. There's a lot of things like this happening in terms of like helping with scalability and like as the user base grows, as the need grows, creating backups and automating more and more things related to data is becoming more and more important and expected. Uh, for the amount of money some people spend on HubSpot. Uh, Developer feedback center related to APIs. What is it? HubSpot is releasing a new feedback tool to better connect you with the product teams building your business. The Developer Feedback Center is an internal tool that initiates feedback from our API and developer community, stores it for triage and review by our developer relations team, and then delivers it directly to the respective API team's repository. This release allows us to consolidate feedback across teams and get your comments to the applicable team quickly and predictably. So again, across teams. Whenever I'm seeing across teams, it's like this is the enterprise motion. We got to support a lot of people. How do we start doing that better? Uh, Technical side of things with the APIs, weekly product updates roundup. Uh, to subscribe, join this beta, turn on the notification. What is it? Super admins can now subscribe to email notifications for product updates. By subscribing, admins receive a weekly email with information on the latest betas and upcoming releases. Now, I am interested in what this looks like. I'm not interested in receiving it in my email as I approach 6,000 unread. Looks like I'm going to hit that today. Yes. Uh, Thank you, AI bots. I'm going to join this beta. Turn on the notification. I guess that means in the notifications area of the settings. Uh, how does it work? There are two ways you can describe once you've joined this beta. Go to settings, notifications, email, and check the box for product updates. Then save your changes. Let's do that. Go back to our settings page and notifications, email, product updates, and check the box. Pretty clear. All right. So I'm very interested to see like anything that they're doing, like is it to help us keep up with updates, I think is important to take notice of and then provide feedback on, right? Uh, so hopefully the way they curate, this is where we should take notes, right? We should take notes about how they curate these things, like when they're dropping, you know, 30 to 50 updates in a week sometimes. What does the weekly update look like? Is it just like a novel via email? Are they finding good ways to, index and link out and, how are they curating this stuff to support the scale and speed of updates, um, and also make it meaningful when we receive that email that we're going to go click on the thing, we're interested in it. And these kinds of motions are interesting to me because once we start doing it, like basically as they leave this space, right, and you leave the context of HubSpot, there's definitely some improvements to be made as far as what needs to be named, like and how it needs to be named. And apologies for the background noise here, so I'm just gonna mute as I click on some stuff. All right, editing default views in the customer success workspace. What is it? Super admins and users with managed customer success settings permissions can now customize and create up to 6 default views in the customer success workspace. Default views will be available as the new portfolio insight cards on the summary tab with admin provided descriptions. Big fan of anything in the way of developing this space out. I do think we're going to see more and more focus on like the workspaces related to all the different roles using HubSpot, uh, as opposed to, maybe a lot of the little things in between. And I think that that workspace like mentality, like obviously we have some workspaces named, right? Like customer success, sales, and help desk, but also like the data management area, the data quality dashboard. It's basically an admin workspace. So love seeing that kind of development. Developer permission set, introducing weekly billing frequencies for products and line items. Very cool. What is it? We've expanded our billing frequency options for products and line items, enabling customers to select either weekly or every 2-week frequencies to bill their buyers. Uh, why does it matter? Customers have varying billing preferences, and some businesses are moving toward a weekly billing model for more regular payments. Weekly billing. Um, Seems like a lot. If your business opts for weekly billing, you can store products with weekly frequencies and use quote subscriptions, deals, and payment links to streamline sales process and facilitate payment collection. Now, I'm very interested if there's anybody out there using all of these things to create, let's say, revenue records in HubSpot, and you found a way to report on all of them separately. Bonus points if you're including orders. I'd love to chat, understand how you're doing that. Contact search for outbound dialer. The outbound dialer now has a search field. Search by name, email, phone number, or company name and instantly dial. Why does it matter? This update to the dialer offers a new, faster way to make outbound calls in HubSpot. Yes, exactly what we were needing. How can we make more outbound calls to people that we don't know? Uh, yeah, thoughts there. That's a different show. Um, Actually, it is a different show. Let's Build Outbound. Coming back with another episode of that with Bastion Paul next week, getting started on our weekly cadence there. That's been exciting to, even though I don't like these words, I know we still need to know and educate. And uh, so, not afraid to dive in and get into the bits and pieces and strategies around outbound. I know it's important. I just think it can always be warm if you choose it to be. Doesn't ever have to be cold, but that's a choice you can make right now. Uh, Reporting updates to the form analyze tab. This is something I'm wondering if Danielle has seen. We were just talking about dashboards yesterday, and she was mentioning um, uh, room for improvement when it comes to forms and form reporting. Maybe this can help with that. What is it? A number of new reporting actions are now available on the Forms Analyze tab. A new form name filter to filter all the reports. Uh, yeah, she mentioned specifically that one because we were excited about keyword filtering. Um, so maybe I need to uh, I need to grab this link. How do I take notes during the show? Oh no. Let me throw it on this 47th sticky note on my desktop. Uh, Open reports in the report viewer to view additional related metrics, apply new filters, view AI insights when available, and save changes. Speaking of new filters, um, on dashboards, definitely check out some saved filters now. Something we unboxed yesterday. Uh, all right, got through one page and I skipped over this one. Customer journey analytics. I don't need to deep dive into that right now. Um, so that's what was new to me. Let's see if anything is scheduled to hit today, November 6th. Public beta, sync activity bidirectionally between Salesforce and HubSpot. All right, Salesforce, bidirectional custom object sync. Custom objects syncing between Salesforce and HubSpot. Rejoice, everybody. If we click on that. So delivered starting in February 13th, 2024. So does this mean it goes from public beta to real, no longer beta? Is that why it's here? Review the release schedule to stay on top of upcoming changes to your account. I have to think that's what it means. Um, so if I were to find this in the updates area, will it be like, is it gonna say live? And of course, oh, let me do all product updates. All right, so public beta. So I'm curious if it's on the calendar, does that mean this will switch to live instead of public beta? Uh, Remind me tomorrow. Sync Salesforce cases. So it's a Salesforce kind of Wednesday with these things dropping. That's the deal. Number one CRM in the land. As far as the first one to build the category, and you know, um, they're the market leader until they're not. Uh, and there's lots of instances out there that need our help. Connecting HubSpot to Salesforce first is probably the best way to help them out of the gate. That's how I transitioned back in 2017, uh, integrating from a marketing perspective, and then after 12 months, waking up to the value of HubSpot and saying goodbye to Salesforce. Uh, Man, already at 32 minutes. One more that I really wanted to hit on today, and I've got some tabs here like LinkedIn, Reddit. Is doing lots of learning here. So basically, like I've been over already Reddit as like um, maybe the most unfiltered HubSpot feedback and problems and solutions. It's funny how people like try to promote things or give help without saying who they are. I don't really worry about that, but it's funny to watch people like try and adhere to this kind of culture of anonymity, um, while trying to help people and promote their products. Super interesting dynamic. But then we have the product updates screen too. So I think these for me are like if you want to understand what is new and what people are up to in the ecosystem, these are like two ends of the spectrum as far as ways to stay updated. In the middle, we've got our favorite LinkedIn echo chamber. Um, and some save posts. One I wanted to highlight from yesterday is interesting. First time I've seen a post like this. Um, I'm curious how it transpired. Um, because if we look at Jordan, just to give, all right, I'll give you the context later. But so I've got some exciting news to share. We're making the big switch from Salesforce to HubSpot. Why the change? Well, we wanted a marketing tool that's as user friendly as it is powerful, but we wanted our CRM and marketing to live in the same area, of course. Um, in this commentary, maybe these things aren't like no shade at anyone. It's just like always interesting. Like there's a previous marketing baggage that people like. This is not common sense for a lot of people out there. And I think if you're inside a HubSpot, it can be easy to feel like it is, right? And it's very much not. So here's what sold us on HubSpot. It's simple and intuitive. No more hunting for what we need. HubSpot's layout just makes sense. Perfect for keeping our workflows on point. One-stop shop. HubSpot brings our sales, marketing, and customer service all into one place, which means more time spent on what matters and less jumping around. Number three, ready to grow with us. We needed a CRM that could keep up with our goals, and HubSpot gives us all the flexibility and features we need to scale up. Of course, any big transition has its bumps in the road, but I'll be sharing our journey here from setting things up to tackling challenges and hopefully uh, celebrating some wins. Any CRM switch survivors out there? That's a good question to ask. Drop your best advice below. Um, this is so like this is such a professional post. Like really well done in terms of messaging HubSpot. So I was like curious, like, okay, who like what is the sponsorship? Like who gave this information and like it's a marketing coordinator, right? Jordan. Um, Plumber's Choice Water. 83 connections. So my bet uh, as a marketing coordinator, all right, this is the key, like content creator as well. All right, and um, this is all like props to Jordan. Like I'm trying to figure out like why, how could this possibly be so good, right? Like, and then you come in and you see 83 connections. Probably been if I had to guess, she's a content creator in any of the other channels, plumbing companies. Probably not a go-to for LinkedIn like in the past. But this is like we live in B2B land all the time. And we think it's just this closed space on LinkedIn and you got a billion people here though. So if you're selling to somebody, whether it's B2B or B2C, they're likely on this platform. So what I would guess is this is a brilliant, like strategic post from somebody who knows what the hell they're doing in terms of how to reach a new audience. 83 connections. I think it was 60 some yesterday when she made the post or when I looked at it like 6 hours later. Like she's probably getting flooded with connections from all of the HubSpot, you know, echo chamber on LinkedIn. Uh, hey, I might as well, just send one and see what happens because I did comment on the post. But having said all that, knowing that marketing coordinator is one of the most, maybe the most general job title in a business. So questions I would have as she asks for advice, like, again, what is HubSpot supposed to be doing, for their business, right? Um, that's probably the best advice. Make sure that you have the answer to that question. Lots of comments, 15 reposts. Uh, I shared mine. Like since I don't really know that question or that answer, what HubSpot is supposed to be doing outside of helping them grow, right? We keep saying onboarding and adoption crucial for success, and there is no easy button. No matter how easy it looks, there's no easy button. Handle that part first, then easy buttons present themselves. So we've been doing a couple series, one with Willem Roos and one with Tony Dowling. Willem is specifically on HubSpot onboarding, and Tony's about HubSpot adoption. So there you go. Uh, Otherwise, I was gonna go through, and maybe I do this tomorrow, because I'm interested, very interested in what kind of advice, uh, uh, because there's stuff like uh, this where um, like immediately into a tactic. Uh, so after rereading the post, I'm sure this is on point, makes sense. Setup became marketing contact date as soon as possible and stamp it within a workflow trigger equals marketing contact status. Yes. Uh, is she going to have workflows? Um, Set up lifecycle stages ASAP. So we come back to the question, like, has your company um, defined lifecycle stages? If you're using Sales Hub Pro, are you going to use the leads object? That's going to change the way you think about life cycle stages. So mapping, data modeling, yep, broken record here. Uh, let's get to that. Let's set expectations. Is leadership bought in? That's uh, yeah, I won't belabor the point. But cool to see this. Uh, and hopefully, we can continue highlighting things like this. Dive into other, save posts and value that people are bringing to the community. Or Stuart Balcom, hitting publish multiple times a day at this point. This post's so good as far as like just go build these reports. Just like bam, 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 done. Like these reports, if you don't have them already, like very simple to follow here in most cases. So just go set them up. And then the other big news that I think is going to have a big impact is uh, Christopher Barnett just joined Supered. Um, so if you thought Supered was loud before, oh man, uh, this is going to be an awesome addition. Awesome to see what they do to level up. Chris is an awesome dude, and I wish him all the success in the world in joining that team. You don't see it here, but if you're connected to Chris, you've definitely seen his other posts and the super team's other posts. Uh, so that's cool to see. All right. Good luck keeping this to 30 minutes every day. Uh, I mean, I do want this to build into like, how do we like, should we put limited time barriers on this thing if we just need to share information and make like if awareness is the problem, trying to fit everything inside of these time windows just doesn't always work, and we have to truncate things that like, are we creating awareness at that point? So always erring on the side of a little less intention, just to make sure that things get shared, but always open to feedback. uh, and that's our show for today. The key, you probably already own the solution you're looking for in HubSpot. You just need to wake up to it. Join us tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Central as we continue exploring platform value hiding in plain sight. If this was helpful, share it with another HubSpot user who needs this wake up call. Drop your biggest takeaway in the comments and let me know what platform capabilities you want to wake up to next. I'm Chris Carolan, and this has been Wake Up with Customer Platform. Now go build something amazing.